Alright, we're back with the rare 1960s Ducati Brio 100cc. So if you guys missed last video on this thing, we pick it up from the seller. He shares the history on it. Go watch that video if you want to know the history on this thing. It's pretty cool. But we got this thing home last video and we attempted to get this thing to run. It didn't have spark, so we found out that the points were dirty on it. We cleaned the points and then somehow I had spark and we were able to get this thing to pop over. It wanted to go, but it didn't quite have enough compression to fully start. The rod looked really good, so there's no play in the rod at all, up and down, a little side to side, which is perfect. We tore apart the top end and we found that the piston ring was just like non-existent. Look how thin that thing is. It gets super thin over here. And if you put it in the cylinder here, it just falls right through. I mean, look at that ring gap. You see, it just falls right through. So, obviously, that's why I had low compression. And we ended last video where I said I was gonna look for some rings. I had probably 100 people message me on Instagram and through email, messaging me links for rings that could potentially work for this thing because parts are non-existent for this scooter. It's so rare, you can't find any parts for it. So I did some research. I looked through some of the links you guys sent me. One of them was this. This is a ring for a Husky chainsaw. It's 50 millimeter, 2-stroke, and I think it's going to work. It came in a pack of 2. See right here, made in Italy. So I'm thinking that's gonna work because this machine was made in Italy as well. So it might be the same rings used for this piston. We're gonna check that today. So if these actually work, we can get this thing fired up today and potentially ride it. That would be super lucky if they did. All right, so here's the piston. Here's one of the rings. Let's get the other ring out. Hopefully they both fit. Otherwise we're gonna have to do some modifications to them to see if we can get this thing to work. So it looks like the grooves are pretty much the same size, and I think the rings are too. So I don't think it matters which one goes where. We're gonna see here. You wanna make sure the ring goes in the right way to hug that pin. So they're gonna go up like that. So let's install, we'll install the bottom ring first here. So it's gonna go down then, if we can install it. Come on, click in there. I don't know, it seems a little tight. Oh, that's working. Wow, look at that. That is a perfect fit. Will the top ring fit here? I want to go this way with it. That would be amazing if this worked. Look at that. Wow. All right. So those are working. They're the perfect thickness. So we got really lucky there. I mean, that is perfect. It's like it was meant to be. So we have to now prep the cylinder. You can see there's some rust forming right here. You can see all the rust forming on here. So we want to get all that rust out so that these rings can seat properly. We've got this little ball hone we're going to use. Perfect size. So let's use that. Probably hear the rain in the background. It is just downpouring. Alright, get a little oil in here. Just a little 2-stroke oil. Lube that cylinder up. Alright, get her hone in. Hopefully that that rust will come off of there. Reverse it. Oh, that looks amazing. I think that rust came off. Yep, all the rust came off. All right, that's looking good. Let's get that cleaned off and then we'll check the ring gap, make sure the rings are gonna work. But one mistake people make when rebuilding two-strokes is not cleaning out all these ports. And what happens is the material from the hone gets in between the piston and the cylinder wall and it scores it all up. Don't make that mistake, wash your cylinder out. I like to grab an old toothbrush, scrub in between the ports here. Now we're going to blow this out with the air compressor. Alright, cylinder is all cleaned. Looking perfect. All that rust is out. All the honing material's out, so let's see what the ring gap is. Hopefully it's not too small. So, piston ring number 1 going in. Alright, definitely not too small. If anything, it's too big, but we should be good. It's not that big. Let's see what it is here. A little bit smaller. It's gonna be like 18 thousandths, looks like. Yep. So, ring gap is 18 thousandths. It's on the bigger side, but better than way too small. Second ring going in. And we'll start out with 18 right away, see if it's the same. It looks like it's gonna be the same. Yep, just grabs on 18. So it's like between 18 and 19 thousandths. I know a lot of people on two strokes check it on the bottom of the cylinder here, so we'll check that too. Looks like it's gonna be the same thing on the bottom. So our cylinder doesn't appear to be warped too badly, if at all. Yep, 18 thousandths again. Barely fits in there. And the second ring on the bottom, just to check, is going to be, yeah, that's 18. Yep, perfect. So rings are perfect. Let's get these installed in the piston, get the piston installed, and we'll get this thing back together. Alright, we're working on the engine now. Let's get some gasket material on this old gasket. Obviously I couldn't find a gasket kit for this, so we'll have to make do with what we have. Not going to put a whole lot, doesn't really need it. A little oil on here. There we go. Getting this cylinder on was not easy. Let's get the rings lined up here. That ring is good. That one's good. That slid on pretty good. We're going to put a thin bead of gasket material on the head. I don't know if this is even supposed to take a gasket here, but we'll put just a little bit on there. And the nuts go on next. Now we're going to torque these down to feel, because obviously there's no manual or anything for this thing. So crisscross pattern. While it spins, that's good. Sounds pretty smooth. All right, let's get the spark plug in. We gotta get the pipe back on. plug going in. Let's see here. Carb is on, looking good. Here's the throttle right here. So now, feels like we've got compression at least. Let's tuck these in underneath here. Alright, we've got compression. Let's see if she fires up here. Gonna put a little gas down the carb. All right, here we go. The light was working in the back too. She fired up. First time in like, who knows how long, 30 years? Could be over 30 years. Gotta get this thing to idle now. I don't know what just happened. Oh, the gas is off, I bet. Gas was off. See if she fires up now.
Tail light's working.
Just have to get it to idle. All right, we can't get it to idle. The idle screws all the way up. I'm guessing it needs that air box, but she runs pretty good. Wow. All right, now that this thing runs, we have to get all the cables free so we can control the throttle. This one's for the choke, this one's for the throttle, and then we've got our clutch over here and our gear change over here. So all these cables, you can see, are stuck. Let's see what this one's doing. So yeah, we gotta free up all these cables. That's gonna be tricky to do. That is going to be tough. Here's the gear change up here. That's how that works. Alright, I'm guessing this panel comes off. You can kind of see where it's cut out like that. Alright, there's another bolt holding this thing on. Let's see. Yeah, those are just stripping out. Those are really rusty. That one came. I'm not sure how that didn't break. Look how rusty that is. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Looks like the speedo cable down there is off of it. You can see how these work. They're on these little pulleys right here. So those aren't locked up. That one looks like it's... yeah, the cables are just stuck. Alright, so we're going to take off these first. You can see one pulls, one pushes. And we'll try to lube those up. We might be able to spray some penetrating oil in there. Alright, we got the old cable out, and you can see this part actually moves with the cable, but the part that was bad underneath the scooter. So I think this part was right underneath here where this bends. I'm guessing water got in here, and that's just frozen right to the cable, you can see. So that was never going to come off. So we have a new replacement cable that we're going to make. We're going to try to shove this down in here and have it come out the back, which that's going to take a lot of luck to get that all the way through. Here. Getting stuck right there. Not wanting to go past that point. So what we're gonna have to do is just have it go out through here. And we'll have to like just make a temporary cable so we can at least ride this thing, because that is not gonna fish through. And there's no way to take off a cover or a panel or anything. It's all hidden. No bolts, no screws. So I figured maybe there's something underneath it, but there's nothing. And there's nothing right here either. All right, throttle cable's routed. We got that all hooked up back here. And now when you twist the throttle, it actually works. So unfortunately this has to be routed on the outside of the machine, but we'll make that look nice. And the other ones we needed were the gear shifter right here. So I'm wondering if we can start this thing in gear and then just shift up manually with it, because those cables are never gonna work. I got the old ones out. And you need 2 of them to change gears. So rear brake does work, check this out. So we do have a brake at least. The front brake kind of works, but the rear brake right here is pretty decent. So at least we have a brake as well. All right, so the clutch is right here on it. And this wire is completely frozen. So we're gonna take that off. That likes to stay on. Through. And that should be enough slack for it. It looked like it was maybe stuck a little bit out. So I believe the clutch lever is right here. And that's completely frozen, so that's no good. Can this thing be started in gear is the question. Well, looks like it can be started in gear. You can see I shifted down into second. Second's the furthest spot down on the lever right there. So what we can do is probably ride this thing in second gear. Sounds really good. This cover goes on like this. Alright, air filter going on next. Let's see how this goes on here. That goes like that. That goes up there. I think that's how that goes. Alright, I'm looking all around the engine for an oil fill, and I can't find anything. I found the oil drain bolt, which is right underneath there. You can actually kind of see it through there. But I cannot find the fill, so I want to drain it and not be able to fill it up. Where the heck is it? Is it hidden underneath this dirt? I cannot find it. Huh. Where would that be? If anyone knows, let me know in the comments. I cannot find it. Yeah, so we're just gonna leave that alone. Hopefully it has oil in it. So, without further ado, let's go see if we can test drive this thing. I'm a little scared. It has no kill switch, and the brakes are a little iffy. So hopefully we can stop if we have to. But yeah, this will be the first ride in 30 plus years on it. Let's see if she moves. All right, we're gonna try to start this thing up in gear. Well, she moves. She's smoky, that's for sure. She fires right back up though. Almost seems like the seal is gone. One of the crank seals. Kind of thinking. Let's see if we can bump start this thing. Put it in first gear. Seems like it's easier to bump start in first. There we go. Here we go. See what happens. Alright, going into second gear here. There's second gear. A little rough in second gear. Gotta get going fast enough. Does not like that. Put her back into first gear. I wish we had a lever we could switch gears with here. It's a bummer. Running really good. Well, after 35 plus years, she runs and drives, and once we get those cables for it, we'll be able to shift into second and third gear. So hopefully we can find long enough cables to have a clutch and a gear selector here. We do have to get them routed through the frame yet. After that, this thing's gonna be running great. So I'm really excited for that. But the goal of today was to get it running and driving, and we did that. So now we can move on to the cables, the paint, the seat upholstery, and yeah, this thing's gonna be looking sharp. I cannot believe it runs as good as it does. Just unbelievable. This thing's been just sitting for years and years and years. You can just see all the rust and the dirt on it. I mean, it was really, really rough. So I am really happy that we got running with those rings. So I can't believe those worked. But yeah, next video, this thing will be looking really sharp. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.